Very good morning. Thank you that you are today here with MOC membership. My name is Mihail, and today we will talk about the crude oil. It's so much fascinating and alien product in our earth below the crust. So, first of all, the humanity has been used coal, has been used gas, but the crude oil is something special through the decades, through the years. It's something special that remains not fully explode its potential. Because what the future looks like that you are able to use each and every drop, each and every barrel in the next opportunity development of the human society. And the most important thing is in order to reduce the losses that it is related with the crude oil. I have been working more than 2.5 years on one of the oil majors. And through my expertise, through my engineering expertise, I have seen multiple business opportunities through these years in this short period of working with this fascinating product. And today I will share some of the things that needs to be taken in consideration when we are dealing with crude oil washing. Because I have here some notes, I would like to record them in on the YouTube, and also to share here some things that I have observed. Maybe some of things are small. Let's say the things that we will talk today, they just cover a small part of the loss control. But if you would like to expand your knowledge, I have specifically created this book with the specific training course on the YouTube available here through the membership. And moreover, I have created a second channel which is called MOC Talks, and then you're able to explore more deeply some of the things that are happening and running across the marine sector. Because marine sector, it is a science, it is science that has not limits basically. Because first of all, you have unlimited products, you have unlimited things happening, unlimited effects, chemical, let's say, reactions and all that things. So it is really a fascinating world to be in. First of all, that I have write down here some of the notes. So one of the vessels was carrying 1 million barrels, and we use two lines. So it took 28 hours to discharge the vessel with coal crude. Also very important is that while you are working with the crudes and with the grades, you are able to identify what is the difference of each crude and how it behaves. So what we did only a bottom wash for this kind of crude, for the coal crude at that time. And why I'm saying at that time, because it's really important to monitor the grade through the time as it passing. So that's why it's so much important to keep records, which washing type there was, which how much time it took, how much water it has on it. So it's a very good thing to track all that points. And it took 12 hours for barging the water from the coal crude oil. Through my change and understanding of time reduction, I was able to reduce the time to just 5 hours. So it is more than 55% time reduction, and this time reduction also can be done in such projects which is related with the bunkering and the sludge optimization project, which is also available on this channel through the memberships. So I explain the steps that the businesses need to take in order to reduce times by 50 and 60 and 70%. So this reduction by timing, it's also a huge reduction of CO2 emissions. It is also a reduction of time of the vessel staying on specific location, let's say like a port or let's say premises around, or it can be anchorage area or wherever. So basically, you expand the trading flexibility of the port itself, and as the vessel stays less time on the port, let's take, for example, one of the biggest ports, let's say Shanghai or Port of Rotterdam, it means that less emissions will be exposed. Our people, let's say, that living in the premises in these, in these gases or fumes that probably will be released while the engines are burning. Okay, because yes, even the vessels stop, the engines are working there, the boilers are working, so it has a huge ongoing impact. One of the things that we found there, it was 2 cm traces in the tanks, and yes, not separate free water was detected. So basically, while you lower down the measuring tape and you go on the bottom to find, let's say, the traces or the free water close to the bottom, you're going slowly, slowly, slowly. You put the paste also. It's great to have three different pastes with you, and then you check what is it. Is it free water or is it traces? 2 cm traces through all over the tanks, okay? And what you can do also additionally, you can lower a sampler on the bottom and you can take some samples in order to detect the water. So as you reach that level, you know where the traces are in the bottom, 2 cm. You just lower the sampler there, you take the sampling, and then you leave the sample to settle, let's say, for X amount of time in order to see if there is any water settles down. This is one of the notes. And one really important thing that I have seen also through the years, that some of the vessels has a less and less measuring points on the top of the tanks. So that also does not give additional flexibility to measuring the tanks, to reach all the areas and see the overall picture of the tank and how the crew has been discharged. So basically, the less points you have, the less points of checking for dipstick or lowering the tape, UTI, or just a simple measuring tape, you are not able to trace and have the overall picture of the discharge operation. The measuring points, as much as possible, should be near the radar system. The radar system that measures the level on the crude oil tanks. A very important thing to say is that the forward tanks are cooler by 1 degrees, and yes, keeping that in mind, because temperature, it's really important of how the vessel will be discharged at the port. So monitoring the temperature, it's really important through, let's say, the voyage, and that's why the measurements should be taken consistently. Why I'm sharing also this information, because most of the people through the industries has been moved to the LNG sector. So there was a mentality and thinking that crude oil will disappear, it's something yes, black, we will not use it, it's dirty. But it was completely wrong approach. And now there is no individuals, let's say, that are capable to deal with the crude oil, because crude oil demands a lot of attention and a lot of monitoring each and every day in order to have great results. And most of the people, yes, now are close to, let's say, the pension, some other areas change, shift the allocations, and there is no documented expertise that can help these, um, let's say, these roles to develop. So basically, through a process which is the documentation, which we are doing also here on this channel through the years, through 2013, we are able to document all the things that are affect the operations, affect the management itself on the vessel or on the specific role. And with this reason, with this material, you basically are able to lift your skills and better understand how the things are working. That's why I'm so much investing in the knowledge and in the development of a proper understanding of how the things are working and how the things are structured, rather than making, let's say, false strategic decisions. And the false strategic decisions, as we have seen, are being made by people that actually does not understand the framework and the basic operational aspects of the maritime industry, how it's related, how it's bonded with the manufacturing, and what is the whole supply chain from the beginning till the end. Another thing that I have also observed through my, let's say, visits on the vessel, that many of people are not wearing gloves, okay, or glasses when interacting with the crude oil, because crude oil can have a severe impact on your health, on your skin, through the exposure for long time exposure. Okay, it depends also. It can be also in the short time, but also it can be in the long time, because yes, it is a consistently exposure to, let's say, some of the things that are in the crude oil, like benzene, which is carcinogenic, or some other things that are basically enter your bloodstream through the skin. That's why you should not be exposed to any kind of diesels or washing chemicals or whatever. So that's why when I was, let's say, a chief engineer on board the vessel, I never exposed my people to such kind of things. So I tell them, do your job, do it nicely and steady, calm, without hurrying up. Use, let's say, the proper safety equipment, and then let's do like one job, yes, per day, and that's all, because yes, we have to keep ourselves safe. Yes, I have seen many times pumpman or yes other people does not wearing gloves, glasses. So basically, I directly instruct them to take actions in order to get out of this exposure. A very important thing also is the earthing device that has been allocated together with UTI. So basically, always we earth our equipment to reduce the spark effect from the static electricity. Always do that. Also, it's very important to check the insulation around the sensor. If it's proper insulated, if everything, yes, it's in good order. If you see some equipment which is damaged, it's better to not use it. And sometimes the free water is more than, we found more than it is reported. So then, yes, there is trouble that can happen. And yes, basically, the more accurate figures you have, the more better you are able to handle any kind of issues at the discharge port. Another thing, that when the vessel is measured and all the things, it's taken in account, calculated, everything compared to the bill of lading, compared to the figures, let's say that you have net figures. Then the vessel, yes, for sure, will start at some point, yes, the discharging operation. And first we will have to do the line displacement. The line displacement, it's a very important step before starting the discharge operation, because then you are verifying that the crude oil is going to a specific tank and through the specific line that it has been designed. So everything is aligned from the vessel through the lines of the terminal to the tank, to the specific tank that the vessel will be discharged. And then the pumping will start. It's a line displacement. It can be shore stop or it can be vessel stop. Depends, yes, what has been agreed on the safety meeting before the discharging operation. Which is really important that the safety meeting done properly, everybody agrees on all the safety regulations, which can be also safety regulations of the terminal. And very important, the surveyor that has been allocated for that specific vessel, the surveyors that are measuring, let's say, the tanks, the surveyors that are measuring the vessels, that are also taking part in the line displacement. So the line displacement is finished. It is within, let's say, 2% of the allowable allowance for the discharge, for the displacement, and then the discharge can be started. Yes, ship's document also been printed. Ship's documents, yes, will be printed. And yes, another, we can see that some of the crudes, yes, does not have heating instructions also. That's very, very important, that some of the grades does not have heating instructions. So heating instructions need to be revised, also depend of the observations, depend of the things that are, let's say, happening through the discharges, and as the discharges are, let's say, continuous through the years, we have to observe them closely. One of the things also that I have observed, that sometimes surveyors did not check and compare the temperature of UTI with the calibrating equipment. And that is very important. That is very important because if you have not calibrated the equipment before you start to measuring and you do it at the end, so basically you have spent time wrongly to measuring all the tanks around, let's say, the vessel, and you have spent time, a lot of time, yes, and effort with already a temperature offset. So that's why first we calibrate the UTI and we compare the temperature with the calibration, and then we are going to measure all the tanks. Another, yes, crude, 2P crude, which has also water, a lot of water inside. We have observed also some 3,200 barrels of water on it, 2P. Banstar medium can have also water. In that case, we had 3,608 barrels of water. Okay, and the most important thing is that if you have simultaneously operations, let's say, for example, you have a bunker barge that are approaching, a very important thing is that the agency, the agent that are related with the vessel, instruct the bunker barge to come after the vessel has measured all the tanks. Because as the bunker barge is moored to the vessel, it has a weight, and then it can shift as well the vessel angle. Okay, so then, yes, also the measurements will not be correct. Let's see the measurements that we had at that point. Okay, let's see an average temperature of the tanks. So it is a Suezmax vessel, and we can see also from here, yes, that actually we have 1 degree difference from the tanks that are in front. So always yes, remember that the front tanks are promoted more for cooling, and have seen that yes also through the experience that this is actually happening. The draft, it's very important, the foredraft and the aft draft, the least, and yes, the foredraft and the aft draft minus each other, it creates the trim of the vessel, which in our case it was 0.3 meters by stern. By stern, yes. So that means that the vessel, it is like this. So this is the fore, yes, and this is the aft. So we have a angle. One very important thing is that the reference height, that it's clearly visible on the deck. So the reference height should be also validated through the UTI and check that it corresponds exactly to what is being printed. And also check the reference height on the tables that we have. And basically, yes, it's a good thing to see if the same UTI was being used on the loading port and the same UTI was used on the discharge port. Let's see. What is also important? Okay, the surveyor had his base, 3 different. Also very important is when you're dealing with the surveyors are really prepared. You evaluate also their preparedness and their competitiveness as well. So as you progress through the years with different surveyor companies, you understand also their performance, or how they are performing through the years, how they are, let's say, manage, how they're calculating. All the things really plays a huge role. So that is it, a simple, let's say, running through, because yes, I will through these notifications, let's say, and I have more, I have write it down more, some of really important things, which I will share with you also later, let's say, within this week. Don't forget, if you would like, let's say, to join one of our training materials, join there, pick up what you're interested, and unlock the full potential for your future development. Thank you very much, and see you on the next video from Mihail and MLC Membership, MLC Talks. Bye bye.